Not all reef stories are about loss. This is one of hope. It's nature's greatest coral love story, and it might just help save our reefs. They are one of the most diverse ecosystems on our planet, providing essential habitat for countless marine species. But rising sea temperatures and increasing environmental stressors are placing coral reefs under immense pressure. Over half of the world's coral reefs have been damaged or lost due to climate change-related bleaching events and disease outbreaks. On the Caribbean island of Bonaire, SECORE International is documenting this alarming situation to analyse how this is affecting coral reproduction.
Throughout my career as a coral reef ecologist, I've always been very concerned about the state of coral reefs, but I have to admit that this year, in the past few months, the situation for me is really, really urgent. Coral reefs are experiencing Caribbean-wide outbreak diseases, which is now combined with extreme heat waves.
Despite the challenges, marine biologist Valerie Chamberlain sees promise in one of nature's most spectacular events, the annual mass spawning of corals. Once a year, in a synchronized event triggered by the lunar cycle, millions of corals release their egg and sperm packages, their gametes, into the water column. This extraordinary natural phenomenon forms the foundation for a groundbreaking conservation strategy developed by SECORE International. At the heart of their work are specially designed coral spawning collection nets. Previously, restoration relied on fragmenting healthy corals, growing them in nurseries and manually reattaching them to degraded reefs. This is a labour-intensive method with limited scalability. Today, during spawning events, scientists deploy gamete collection nets over healthy coral colonies. These nets allow them to capture millions of eggs and sperm for controlled fertilization. Each researcher is able to collect from multiple colonies simultaneously. In the wild, chances of successful encounters between sperm and eggs are believed to be extremely low, especially compared to what scientists can accomplish in a controlled lab setting.
Well, this was a really, really good spawning event.
Yeah, this is a great collection. Look at that. Wow. Shall we take them to the lab?
Within just a few hours, fertilization takes place.
So once we have collected sperm from different colonies, hopefully from a really wide mix, many different parents, so that we can ensure that we have a lot of diversity in the collection, we will bring them back to the laboratory, and then we will mix all the parents together. And that will allow all the sperm from different parents to meet the eggs from different parents.
In natural conditions, however, less than 1 out of a million coral larvae survive to adulthood.
Every single time we produce new coral offspring, they're all genetically unique. This means that some of them will be better at coping with higher seawater temperatures or potentially also disease outbreaks, which gives a better chance for coral reefs to adapt to these challenging conditions. On really successful nights, we can sometimes reach almost 100% fertilization. There are still some species, however, that are a bit harder. There's a bit more challenges, and like we might achieve more around a 50–60%, and there's still some work to do to better understand what causes lower fertilization success.
Shortly after fertilization, the microscopic coral larvae begin their search for a suitable place to settle. They can travel miles with the current and are guided by environmental cues in search of the ideal place to begin life as a coral colony. How these larvae locate and choose their final destination remains one of the key questions for coral researchers.
When coral larvae seek a place to settle or they look for a home on the reef, they have a really important decision to make because they might live there for decades, centuries, maybe even 1,000 years. So they have to receive all kinds of information from the environment. They kind of can sense lights, they can sort of hear sounds. They're also able to understand who is on the seafloor, whether it's an aggressive sponge or a bad algae.
Back in the lab, the new-grown coral larvae are monitored by the team. They carefully observe their size, growth, movement and vitality. When they are ready to settle, the scientists bring the larvae to the ocean. The team uses specially designed ceramic substrates to improve larval settlement and survival. These artificial substrates have been conditioned in the sea to make sure they are covered with a suitable biofilm and that they are clean and free of any kind of dangerous organisms for the tiny corals. The coral larvae are placed in underwater enclosures, seeding tents, that shield them from waves, predators, and other threats during their most vulnerable phase. After some days, the larvae have developed into young corals and are ready to be transferred to the restoration sites. These sites are carefully chosen by the scientists, often in shallow reef zones with stable water flow, offering ideal conditions for long-term growth. Ongoing monitoring helps identify the survival rate of the new-grown corals. Each juvenile coral that survives becomes a tiny spark of resilience, a chance for reefs to endure in a warming ocean. To learn more about the work of SECORE International, visit secore.org.